Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, April 14th, 2021 meeting of the East Long Meadow Conservation Commission. At this time, I need to ask if anybody in the audience is recording the meeting. And if so, please identify yourself. I see we have 4 attendees tonight. And yeah, that might be Tony. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All righty. Welcome aboard, Tony.
Yep.
All right, if we got nobody saying they're recording, we can move on to item 1, which is approval of the March 24th, 2021 minutes. I looked at those, they were fine to me. Anybody have any corrections or anything? No? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote for approval of the March 24th minutes. Francis? Francis, you're on mute. I'll go around. Elizabeth?
I don't know if she can hear
Yes.
you.
That was a yes, Elizabeth?
Yes, it was yes.
Will?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
And Francis?
She's frozen. That's why she looks that way.
Ah.
I was going to say, she seems awfully quiet. Yep,
No, now she's gone.
she'll come back.
1, 2. Okay, and I am a yes vote also, so that passes. That was 4.
Sorry, my internet just cut off.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes, I approve the minutes too.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Yep. The next item on the agenda was the request for certificate of compliance for 99 Maple Shade Avenue. I'm assuming everybody got the drawing and looked at it. It has shown that it was recorded at the Registry of Deeds. I know Jeff was out there and inspected the permanent limit of work markers that had been installed in their new locations as per the drawing. So I really don't have any issues with that. Does anybody on the commission have any comments? That you, Tony?
Excuse me?
Did you have any comments for Maple Shade?
No, I already expressed those. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Well, moving along, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the certificate of compliance for 99 Maple Shade Avenue.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Elizabeth,
Yes.
Francis,
Yes,
Will,
Yes.
Tony,
Sure.
and I am a yes vote also. Next item on the agenda is the continuation of the public hearing for the notice of intent for 86 Somersville Road. We did not receive the new information that we requested regarding the marking and the improved drawing for that. So essentially, we just need to continue this to our next meeting. So I will entertain a motion to continue this till the April 28th, 2021 meeting.
so moved.
So moved. Jeez.
We'll count that as
Second.
a second. Roll call vote, Francis,
Yes,
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
and I am a yes vote also. Next item on the agenda is the amended order of conditions for DEP file number 1500433. And I believe Mike Macau, I see him in the audience. And so I'm assuming Mike would like to come in and explain this to us. You're on mute, Mike.
Also, if you have video, if you can put it on, that would be great.
We're back.
Here we go. All right. We made it. Thanks for being patient.
No problem, Mike. So, you want to
Yeah.
give us a rundown?
Well, what we've done is submitted a amended notice at the request of Public Works. They wanted the Hammerhead turnaround changed to a cul-de-sac turnaround. And that engineering was done by Anderson Associates, and you have a updated plan in front of you with that amendment. We've held the sill fence is in exactly the same spot as it was previously approved with a hammerhead turnaround. There's no further encroachment into the 50-foot buffer zone. We have a sill fence set right on the 50-foot buffer zone to protect the wetlands. And I think this is a simple change to accommodate Public Works. And we would request amendment to the notice to reflect the cul-de-sac turnaround.
Comments from the commission? Well, I got a couple, of course. I looked at it, and yeah, and in your narrative, it talked about the very small amount of intrusion into the 50-foot buffer zone. But the drawing that we have, Mike, is real hard to read. I don't know if it was because it was a copy or, but it's tough to make out the nomenclature. And there's the other thing, there's nothing on it with updated dates and revisions. For the most part, it looks like it's this. I know it's been changed, but it's a drawing from 2019. So I guess.
Yeah, I can request some better quality prints and revision dates on this.
Yep. But so, for my opinion, essentially, I don't have any issues with it, but upon reviewing the order of conditions, what we did not have in here in the conditions was permanent limit of work markers being installed at the 50-foot buffer zone line, which essentially only applies on the, I'm going to call it the easterly portion of the project of the piece of property.
Okay, would you like me to show those on the plan?
Yes, and you know, and if we put those in there, and just add that into our order of conditions, and then if we just get the revised drawing sent in, I personally, I don't have any issues with this amendment to the order of conditions.
Okay.
Any,
How far on the spacing of the permanent markers? Every
25
50 feet or so?
Yeah, I think it's still only going to be like 4 of them there, right?
Yeah, there's not many.
Yeah, it's only like 4 of them, I would say. Yeah, 3, 4, but yeah, and that would be fine.
Okay.
Any other comments from the commission? Then I guess we could entertain a motion to approve the amended notice of intent with the condition that we would get the revised drawing showing the permanent limit of work markers and add that to our order of conditions. That was a request for a motion.
Moved.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, we'll go to the roll call vote. Elizabeth,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
Francis? Mic's off.
Sorry, yes.
Tony?
Yes.
All righty. All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Glad you're enjoying retirement.
Very much.
All righty. The next item on the agenda was the ratification for the order of conditions for the notice of intent for 13 to 25 North Main Street. I didn't get a chance to look at them. I asked Bethany before the meeting, and what we didn't have in there was the addition of the permanent limit of work markers that were discussed at our last meeting. And what they do is on the drawing, they have the silt fence shown approximately 5 feet back from where the new curb is going to be, where the new curb is moving about a foot into the parking lot. So I would just like to see us just add a condition that permanent limit of work markers to be installed 5 feet away from the silt fence and added to the drawings. And I think that would be all that would be required there. Comments from anybody else?
Did we get a new drawing on that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. Okay.
Oh, we didn't get it yet, no.
No, okay.
They,
So we'll see the permanent markers on the new drawing.
Yes.
Okay.
I had heard it from somebody else, and I asked Bethany before the meeting. I didn't watch the planning board meetings and see what transpired, but evidently they withdrew their application from the planning board, and they're going to be revising their plan and resubmitting at some time. I'm really not sure if it affects us at all. I'm assuming it probably doesn't.
Greg,
Yeah.
if you'd like, when I get that new application in, I can send it off to all of you just to review.
Okay. But yeah, Rob said at the meeting he wouldn't have a problem with it, and yeah, I'm sure he would. It's drawing C4 that they would just be added to, and but yeah, I don't see any problems with him doing that. So I will entertain a motion for approval of the order of conditions for North Main Street with the addition of the permanent limit of work markers 5 feet away from the silt fence.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, the roll call vote. Elizabeth,
Yes.
Francis,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
and I am a yes vote also. All righty, moving on to project monitoring. I didn't have a lot there other than wanted to ask if we heard anything from Mr. Capua about the letter for Robin Street. No? All righty. The other one I just want to say, kind of in project monitoring and or whatever, it's we are kind of approaching some drought-like conditions. There has been a tremendous lack of rain, so we just need to keep that in mind regarding our delineations and that sort of thing. But also 21 North Main, did we get a response to the letter went out for that?
I actually just got an update from the health department. Let me just pull it up here. So they are working on both the trash issue and the grease issue, and they just asked for some of the plans for the basin area, which I emailed over this afternoon. So they're working on that, and if it ends up back in the Conservation Commission's arena, I will let all of you know, but I think they will be addressing the issue from the health department side of it.
Okay, so we didn't hear anything from the owner.
No, they've been in communication with the health department from what I understand.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to add in project monitoring? No?
I have a question. I don't know if I can ask it or not about Brownstone Gardens. Are we following up on that? Have we heard from them?
I haven't heard an update since the last update from Chris a couple of months ago.
What project was that? I'm sorry.
That's the invasive species removal.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's beginning to grow again. It grows like 12 feet every year. So,
And I don't know if they're now waiting for a better time of year or if they're still struggling to find a contractor.
the time of year is good, but it's probably the contractor.
Yeah. The winter's good too, but yeah, they kind of missed their window in trying to get a contractor. Mhm.
Can we just put that on a list to follow up?
Sure, yeah.
And are we going to follow up on Robin Street? You mentioned it, Craig, but
Yeah, that
it's been a
letter,
long time.
that letter went out a few days ago, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay,
Yeah, so I guess we should give them till the next meeting
okay.
before we send them another letter.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
There was nothing bad as far as the erosion or anything there. The silt fence was pretty much intact and okay out there. It was just the signage and flagging.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else under project monitoring?
And is everything okay with Hidden Ponds?
We haven't heard anything. It might be interesting if people have time this weekend and want to swing by if we get some rain. This is the first, significant weather event or where we've had some rain in quite a while. So it might be good to go look at, but I'm assuming nothing has been submitted as far as a plan, or we would have gotten advised of it.
Craig,
Yes, sir.
how about Perv Street, LaPlante's project? The silt fence is still down. I
Was
went
not
by there
aware of
the
that.
other day. Hi?
I was not aware of that. I know they were doing some work. I thought he would put that in. Did you?
No,
I'm sorry, did you look at that recently, Tony?
well, I think Jeff brought it up at the last meeting that the silt fence was down, the east part of it, closest to North Main. Still down. I mean, they've cut all the trees down.
Oh, not the section that was left out after the tree came down on it.
Correct.
Okay. Towards the street. All right, I'll go by and take a look at that, and so we'll get in touch with Rich Walls or Bill LaPlante.
Okay.
Anything else on project monitoring? Okay, I guess we're just moving to policies and procedures. I did see the notice about the trees that we're donating for Arbor Day. That's great. I did have a note here too about following up with if we were going to have Mary come to a meeting for getting the money approved or her approval for a conservation agent.
Yep, so
For our next meeting.
I did talk to her about that. What she'd like to do is not really come into the picture until the commission has a clear idea of who they want to hire. And then at that point, she'd come into the picture and help as far as the money goes. So I think the steps would be to really nail down what that position looks like and what you'd like out of a conservation agent.
Yep, I did send you an email, right?
Yep, and if I guess I could share that with the commission for the next meeting, put it as a agenda item and get a good discussion going. So that will help me anyway, to make sure we get the right person.
Yeah, because yeah, and we just need to move forward with this. You know, and I don't think it's a real detailed description. But yeah, if you could forward that email that I sent with what I put down for somewhat of a job description and priorities, and yeah, we can just look at what these other towns are doing and advertisement that they have for agents and just use that, and then let's start and advertise.
Sounds good.
So we can, so then essentially Mary has said it's okay to spend our money to put ads out to seek this person.
Yep, and I think that would fall under the Wetlands Protection Act.
Yes, it
funds.
would. Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. That was the only one I had under policies and procedures. I don't know if anybody had anything else to add? Any other items?
Sorry for the lateness.
You missed everything.
Oh, geez. Sorry. I was out spreading fertilizer and lost track of time. And then my
That's
computer
pretty
took,
funny, Jeff.
no, seriously. Then my computer took like 10 minutes to start up.
Mm. That's pretty funny, Jeff.
If nobody else has anything, we're on policies and procedures, Jeff. We just asked about having Mary come to the meeting. She wanted us to come to her with somebody that we're hiring or would like to hire. So I guess we need, Bethany's gonna send out the description thing that I did a little while ago. And I guess we can comment on it and then start advertising and interviewing for the position.
And I think once we have some promising candidates, that's when she can come into the picture and, you know, not have to micromanage that selection process.
I agree.
Sounds very good.
All right, did anybody have anything else for this evening?
Um,
Go
Francis?
ahead, Francis.
Yeah, the Community Preservation Committee is going to have a public meeting in May. And they have funds for conservation. And we should consider, do we have any projects? We had thought about some, way back. We talked about the possibility of doing a walking trail on conservation land and different things. Could we think about that for the next meeting and maybe the one after? Put that on the agenda? A proposal for a project that, Bethany, you probably have the notes from that discussion.
Yep, yep.
So I'd like to look at that since their funding process is opening for
Okay.
this coming year, so.
Oh, so the meeting in May is like the submittal meeting?
Well, it's an open meeting. It's the start of the process. It's the
Okay.
beginning.
Francis, do you know what the date would be for that meeting?
No, he hasn't set the date yet.
Okay.
So, I mean, normally our meeting is the first week of May, the first Thursday of May, but it's going to be later than that. It'll be after that meeting. So I'm assuming the May meeting is when he'll announce the date. But he has to announce it publicly, I think. So.
Right, right. Great.
I had something, Craig. Just is as a standard for general orders of conditions, that I think we should put in that the permanent limit of work markers should be installed not less than 25 feet apart, and that should be a standard order of conditions for all NOI filings,
Thank you.
if that's not what we're doing already.
No, it's not in there. I kind of like it, but That is what we did for the Jeffrey Lane South conditions for tonight. We had them add the permanent limit of work markers no more than 25 feet apart. And we're adding that to the order of conditions as a part of the approval for that amended order.
But if we could put that in as a standard item in all of order of conditions going forward. I know I came late. I don't know if it's appropriate since you've already discussed it or not. I'll throw it out there and you can tell me no or whatever. I happened to see Mike Petrus, who is an engineer, and he was out putting in some markings or some posts and markings, and I had a discussion with him on 86 Somerville. But if you want that table, I don't know what you decided on that at this meeting.
We had nothing submitted. We had nothing submitted, so we just continued it.
Okay,
And it is a public hearing, so I don't really think we can discuss it.
okay,
But yeah, you could send out, your email and, then Bethany can forward it to people.
okay.
Francis?
Yeah, Arbor Day, I had a question. Is that an ongoing, every year we do the same thing?
Yeah, it's an annual celebration. Usually there's a whole celebration with the schools, and usually one of the commissioners will go and say a couple of words. But since COVID's here, they're not doing the actual celebration, but we're still doing the donation of the 2 trees.
Is that ever open for change? Or is it something that the town just does on our behalf or what?
That's a good question. I'm not sure who or when it started. Craig, do you have an answer for that?
We've pretty much been doing it since I've been on the commission. And I've gone and given a little speech a couple times at Arbor Day, and I look forward to having you do it next year, Francis.
No, that's not, I'm not volunteering to do it, but I am thinking that maybe next year we could do more. Maybe we could, we need to show that we're aware of the climate crisis and be a part of Arbor Day, not just like, I don't know. I would like to maybe think about doing more. I have to think about it, but.
And that's a great idea, Francis, because when I was a kid, we got a little tree to take home from school on Arbor
There
Day.
you go, a seedling, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good
I think,
idea.
so I think the garden club usually provides a sapling.
Okay,
So I think they're kind of the initiative of the celebration, and then they just come to us and let us know usually the list of attendees, the schools, make sure all the information is up to date, and then we just coordinate actually getting the trees.
okay.
So if you know anybody on the garden club, or if you want me to connect you with them to start that conversation, I'd be happy to do that.
I think George Kingston's on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Just to give Francis an idea, because I've been to it a few years ago. Each school, the kids all put on a program. It's done in the school auditorium, and all the kids participate. And as a representative of conservation, we just kind of give a little short speech about what conservation is and what we do. And the garden club gives a little speech. And then, the trees are presented to the schools. And normally the trees are already planted by the time the Arbor Day ceremony actually takes place. So the trees are already in the ground, so the students can see it, and they're pointed out where they're located on the grounds. But it's usually about a 20-minute to half-hour program at each school, and they're timed so that people have enough time to go from one school to the other. They're not done simultaneously. So you've got about 10 minutes to scoot from one school over to the next school
Well, that's good. Where are the trees planted?
on the school grounds.
Okay, okay. And what about Earth Day? Do we do anything for Earth Day? Do we participate in Earth Day? Which is coming up soon.
I don't think so, not historically. The rec department generally organizes the Earth Day activities. So that's another opportunity to join in.
It seems the Conservation Commission should be a partner in that, in Earth Day. I mean, that's our thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
I believe we did something in the past on Earth Day when I was on the Green Committee in town. Do you remember that, Don?
I do, yeah.
That's what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, the Green Committee. Yeah, so there is planned actually for the 24th, a fairly significant, I don't know, I think they've got over 100 volunteers for a cleanup day. And different groups of people, you can sort of form your own group and kind of work in your own area of town. That's how the rec department and a resident, Erin Crucial, after the visioning session, came up with the idea, and she pretty much organized this. So every year there's, an effort to recognize it. More recently, it has been through the rec department. But years ago, yeah, it was the Green Committee that did it. My daughter was involved in that when Craig was on it. And so just Francis, for your clarification, the two, historically it's been Mountain View and Maple Shade, the two grades 3 to 5 schools that do the Arbor Day celebration.
oh, okay.
I don't know, some of you may remember, but back in the day, Brian Lees was the perennial guest for Arbor Day, and that was his favorite event. And he used to go and tell stories and everything. And it was a big deal when my kids were little. It was one of the biggest events of the school events of the year. But they had music and the whole, it was a big show.
I just recently read the book Man of the Trees, St. Barb. And, I got inspired by that. I mean, maybe we could present a book to each of the schools, some, a book about trees. Another thing is that Nature Conservancy has some fantastic things that maybe we would want to tag into for Earth Day.
When is Earth
I mean,
Day?
I think the awareness is not enough. It's not enough to just clean up. We have to, somehow bring awareness so people understand the importance of the environment and conservation. I mean, we talked about that, doing flyers or getting that grant, Bethany, but it seems these special days are an opportunity to bring more awareness to the community. And I don't know if we should think about it and get involved as a Conservation Commission. I think there should be a presence.
I like the idea. When is Earth Day?
April
The
20th,
the scheduled event is the 24th. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the actual day of Earth Day is, to be honest.
the end of this month, for
Next
sure.
week.
The two school principals, Elaine Santinello and Mike Fredette, I think would be thrilled also to help in that planning. If anybody wanted to approach them, they'd be very happy to do that.
And the high school has a club, the environmental club.
Environmental Club, right?
Yeah. I mean, just because things are online doesn't mean that something can't be done. Right? I should have looked into it sooner, sorry. It's like just suddenly I got an email from a friend about Earth Day and I realized, oh no. And then the email from Rebecca about Arbor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't do it this year, we could do it next year, but at least it's April 20th to the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do that. More fun than doing site visits in the snow.
Yeah, well, we got to do that too, but April
Yep.
21st is Education International will lead the Teach for the Planet Global Education Summit, for example. And
Mhm.
April 22nd is actually Earth Day.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'll look more up online. I don't know if it'll be too late for our next meeting, but when is our next meeting, Bethany?
The
28.
20,
Sorry.
the 28th.
Oh, yeah, too late. Okay, well, I can at least put some notes on file for next year, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll do some research and,
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's aware, but the Boy Scouts just did a cleanup along the rail trail and picked up several trash bags full of trash that people have strewn along it. So kudos
Good.
to them.
yeah, we could even recognize them for that. Yeah, that's great. Do we do that, Craig?
What?
Do we send letters when we notice that some group in the community has done something? As a conservation commission or no?
Haven't in the past, but it's not a bad idea.
Could we do that on our stationaries now that, do you know what troop? Jeff?
No, I just saw a post on the East Long Meadow Forum. It probably said what troop was in there, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there's only one in East Long Meadow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how the rest of the commission feels, but I think that would be a good thing to do.
No, I believe we have their information on file, but yeah, Bethany, if you want to draft a letter for that, we can shoot her over to them. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Then they'll remember us if we do decide to take on a project, maybe they'll come and help us too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Work together, right?
Absolutely. All righty. Does anybody have anything else? All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Raise your hand,
All
Tony.
right, roll call vote. Elizabeth,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Tony,
yes.
Francis,
Yes.
and I am a yes vote and looking forward to Tony getting the computer.
Yeah, I'll work on
That's
that.
pretty funny, Craig. That's pretty funny.
You gotta get internet, gotta get internet.
Thank you, Don.